On July 15th, we are doing a giveaway to celebrate 50,000 subscribers here on the channel. In collaboration with Zaptec and then partnering up with Polestar as Polestar's recommended home charger, we are giving away 2 Zaptec GO home chargers. To enter, simply subscribe to this channel and comment down below, "I want a Zaptec GO home charger." Thanks Zaptec for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, Kris here, and welcome to Basque Country in beautiful North Spain. We are close to San Sebastian here in Spain, and we're driving the brand new Audi Q6 E-Tron Quattro. So I've already driven the SQ6 E-Tron Quattro. That video will be out later, but in this video, the first video, I am dropping on this new car because of the embargo that has just been lifted. It's going to be about this, the brand new Audi Q6 E-Tron Quattro. And in this video, we're going to take a look at this car on the exterior, on the interior, and then we're going to drive it to see, is this the Audi that you guys should go out and buy? Is this the mid-size electric SUV you've all been waiting for? I want to start this video talking about the exterior design of the brand new Audi Q6 E-Tron. So the car we have here is in glacier white metallic with these beautiful double 5-spoke 21-inch wheels. And I think this spec here with the S-Line exterior package, with the black package, looks spectacular. This is absolutely the spec I would choose. For you guys who have been following the channel, know that I've had quite a few white or close to white cars. I had an Audi e-tron 55 back in 2020, which was white. I had an Audi e-tron GT back in 2021, which was white. I currently drive a Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, which is, yeah, you guys guessed it, white, though it is wrapped in another color. I've had an Audi A4 that was white. I've had a Volkswagen Tiguan that was white. I had a Volvo XC90 that was white. So there's quite a theme here. I really like the black on white paint scheme, and the way this looks, especially with these beautiful 21-inch wheels, is absolutely the way I would spec this car. I just think it looks spectacular. So you have the new front end design, you have the new updated Audi grille, you have this split headlight design where the headlights, the high beams and the low beams sits in this cluster below this DRL portion. Here you have 8 different light signatures, so this can be customized in 8 different ways. And you have overall, you know, a very fresh and really nice new Audi face. This may just well be one of my favorite angles of the brand new Audi Q6 e-tron. To be honest guys, I think it looks great from the front 3/4, from profile, from the rear and the rear 3/4. I just think from any angle, this looks really nice. And again guys, I'm just loving this glacier white paint color with these 21-inch wheels with the S-Line exterior black package with the black wing mirrors, the black cladding here on the doors. You got the black, you know, details around the windows, the black roof rail. Yeah, it's just a very attractive electric car. And what they've done with this new Audi Q6 e-tron, which is their first car on the PPE platform, that is the Platform Premium Electric, which is also shared with the brand new Porsche Macan Electric and is going to be shared with the upcoming Audi A6 e-tron, is that they've been able to move the greenhouse further back. So you get this really long and striking hood. You're keeping these traditional SUV proportions, but you're getting this really long hood where you can see that the center of the wheel here and where the door starts is really far apart, giving it a very striking profile. It does eat a little bit into the cabin space because though this car does have a relatively long 2.899 meter wheelbase, because the greenhouse is moved further back, it does eat a little bit into that. We'll see that once I show you guys the interior. But for the overall aesthetics, it is just great. I think this is by far the best looking electric, or by far the best looking SUV from Audi. As I said, I don't think there is any bad angle regarding the exterior design of this new Q6 e-tron. The rear light bar design is basically out of the Audi e-tron GT, which you guys know is one of my absolute favorite car designs ever. It's just the rear light bar design glued onto this SUV shape. It also has the same, rear haunches as you find on the Audi E-Tron GT. And maybe that's why I like it so much, because what the designers have said today is that they basically made an SUV version of the Audi E-Tron GT, and I can absolutely see it. I just think it is a very attractive design from all angles, even the rear. Now this is an interior color combination that I absolutely can dig. This gray leather with these bucket seats is really, really nice. So my Audi e-tron 55 I had back in 2020 was white on the exterior with black details and with a gray interior. I think it was a little bit lighter, the interior I had, but this is close enough. This is giving me, flashbacks to my Audi e-tron I had back a few years ago. And this interior is totally new. You have this curved panorama display with the new Panorama MMI or MMI Panorama, the new Android-based infotainment system. I'm not going to have a lot of time to dive into this in this video because we have such limited time here at this event. So hopefully I had that in this video. If not, I do apologize. But the interior is really nice. Overall quality is pretty sweet, though there are a few cheap, plastic bits like around where you open the door reliefs here, and also around the windows, and also down low in the cabin there are a few hard touch plastics. But other than that, the quality is really nice. These seats are really nice. You have this stitch, faux leather on the dashboard, also here on the inserts on the doors, and a lot of soft touch materials. It is really nice, but I was just hoping it was a little bit nicer, because this car, especially when you spec it out, is pretty expensive, and in some cases it's even more expensive than its bigger brother, the Audi Q8 e-tron, which gives you a much nicer interior quality wise. But there's no doubt in my mind that the front cabin feels more modern than that car. Also, we're going to take this car out on the road, and I think this actually drives better than its bigger brother, though I've only driven the SQ6 e-tron, not the Q6 e-tron Quattro. But I even like the new steering wheel, even though it is a squircle, and even though it has, these touch capacitive buttons, it is almost as good to use as the old setup. Though you do have capacitive touch buttons here on the door here to adjust mirrors and stuff like that, it actually works pretty nice. I'm not a fan of everything being in gloss black plastics, but that's just the way of 2024. But overall, a lot of room. This is airy, this cabin. You have a lot of headroom, a lot of room in the width of the cabin, and you don't feel cramped at all. And with this new, MMI Panorama infotainment system, it looks and feels very modern. So at first glance, the rear of the Audi Q6 e-tron Quattro does seem relatively spacious for a mid-size electric SUV. They say this is size-wise Model Y, Ford Mustang Mach-E, but price-wise it is close to a lot of the big boys like the Mercedes EQE, BMW iX. This is an expensive car when you go for a few options. So we're going to start with the positives. Flat floor, and you do have room for your feet underneath the front seats, which is a really nice thing. And also the height of the bench is really nice. The width of the cabin is really nice. Also headroom pretty decent. But as I was talking about, that long wheelbase combined with that shorter greenhouse compared to something like the Audi Q8 e-tron, yeah, you don't have that much legroom. You might have been expecting a lot more, and compared to the Q4 e-tron, even though that car is a lot smaller, there isn't a lot more rear legroom in this car. I'm 5'10" or 178 centimeters, with shoes maybe 5'11", 180 centimeters, and it's fine. But if you're taller, if you're like 6'1", 6'2", you may be struggling with legroom in this car, though headroom is going to be nice. And also the same with a few cheap touch plastics around the door handle, down low in the cabin. Yeah, I'm not too convinced about this compared to the Q8 for practicality, at least. We've now jumped into the Audi Q6 e-tron Quattro. And I probably said that many times today. I'm just gonna mute the navigation lady. So we've just had lunch at this beautiful, I don't know, restaurant, this building here up on the hillside here in Basque Country. Yeah, quite an event, but we do have limited time to test both this and also the SQ6 E-Tron. So there are things I'm hoping I'm going to be able to show you guys. Maybe I can film that tomorrow with the infotainment system, but now we just have to get back to the hotel to check in, and then we have dinner with more presentations and stuff like that. So these days are always fully packed, and there's always a lot of information, and then you have like a few hours with the car and you think you have a lot of time, but you don't have a lot of time, and then suddenly, yeah, you find yourself like having to run. And the first thing I want to do now is I want to go into the menu here, and then I want to turn off the driver assistant for speed limit warning. I think that's going to go off, and then in typical Audi fashion I can hold in the button here on the indicator stalk just a few seconds to turn off lane keep aid. So applause Audi, you are still the best at some functions. And you know, it could be worse with the physical buttons here on this, the capacitive touch buttons on the steering wheel, them not being, you know, like this. I mean, they're partly physical. And that guy, yeah, okay. So we're just gonna try to get out of this place. So I've already driven the SQ6 E-Tron, and basically underneath these two cars are identical. Same battery pack, same chassis, same suspension, this on air suspension. You have the same components and also the same electric motors, though this being the non-S version, they've taken out less power. So 387 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.8, 5.0, 6.0 or 5.8, I don't remember. I think it's 6.0. I'm totally forgetting that now. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a slow car, but 387 horsepower compared to the 517 and the SQ6 E-Tron. Yeah, that's not, you know, a fast electric car. So these kids want us to rev the motor. We're driving an electric car. So in Spain, at least northern Spain, they don't know what electric cars are. These kids nowadays, you know. As we say in Norwegian, ungdom er nå til dags. It's very typical expression. So this on the surface feels very similar to that SQ6 E-Tron, but we're going to drive select mode here, and then we're going to put it into comfort. It defaults to balanced, but we're going to go into comfort, and then we're going to go hopefully out on the main road here. So this new infotainment system looks really nice. I do appreciate it, having more real estate. And also this new layout, it just feels more intuitive. I've only been using it for a few hours, but I'm already used to a lot of the interface. And also there is a passenger screen that I can't see when the passenger is operating it. So for people who want to have, I don't know, your kids or maybe your spouse watching something else or doing something else while you're driving, that is a nice addition. And you can barely see, like very faint. Did we do a wrong turn here? No, we're going to go to the right here. So we're going to immediately go out on the motorway here, and what I want to feel is how this is compared to that SQ6 E-Tron, which should be a little bit more sportly tuned in not only the drivetrain but also the suspension setup. And we're going to give it full throttle here because we have to merge onto the motorway here, and we had a truck there. Okay, actually it feels a lot quicker than I thought it was going to feel. And like the SQ6 E-Tron, this is very, very quiet. Though we are in Spain, where they do have very smooth asphalt, though this may not be the smoothest of roads. There we hit a patch of what may be more close to Norwegian asphalt, coarser asphalt, more worn, and of a different compound. And there, I mean, it's okay. I can't really judge tire noise before I'm back driving on my normal roads, but wind noise at least is very, very subdued. And one thing, you know, I really like about this car is that, especially with the air suspension, I haven't driven without air suspension, but with air suspension, it is very soft and compliant and wafty, like an Audi Q8 E-Tron. But what I found with the SQ6 E-Tron is that when you go on a twisty roads, when you put it into dynamic, it's a lot sportier. And it feels a lot lighter than the mass, the size, and its weight should suggest. So let's see if we can find some twisty roads. and try it dynamically and see if I'm impressed or not. We're now inside the city of San Sebastian, and what's interesting is that they have a new one pedal driving mode in the Q6 E-Tron. So it's still called B mode like in the other cars, but unlike, for example, the Q4 E-Tron, when you go off the throttle, it does actually come to a complete stop, which is awesome. So true one pedal driving when you put it into B mode. So that is really nice. So we're now in the city. We're on some small, city streets, tight streets here, and the size of this car is just really nice. I mean, we're in a roundabout here. The steering is relatively quick. Also, it's light enough, but not too light. And the car's just super easy to maneuver. You have this really nice high commanding driving position, and you have a large greenhouse. It's just a really nice car to drive. And even on 21-inch wheels, though because this is on air suspension, it has really nice ride comfort. Though I feel now in the city, it's maybe not as softly sprung as that Q8 E-Tron, but there's very little difference in how this drives comfort-wise compared to that car. We're almost at the end of today's event, so I don't have a lot of time. I didn't have a time to find any twisty roads here, but there is one road here. So I'm going to put the car into dynamic mode, and then we're going to try and see how this feels. So, I mean, the power is okay. 387 horsepower isn't, a lot in today's money. But let's see how this behaves through the corners. So it doesn't feel as sharp, even in dynamic mode, as that SQ6 E-Tron, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it feels really nice. It's not as sharp, but it's really close dynamically to that car. I don't think there's a lot of difference between this and the SQ6 E-Tron. Again, it's not as sporty, it's not as sharp, but I'm going to say this car is easily like 90% or 95% as sporty and as sharp as that car. You feel that the steering is lighter, there's not that much feel, especially off center. Yeah, no, it's not as dynamic as that car. I think they're okay. With the steering, there is a little bit of difference. And yeah, but I haven't driven on the same roads. It's kind of hard to say. I'll have to test one over a longer period of time once I get back to Norway, but still, steering is pretty decent in this car. Either way, that's one of the big surprises about this Q6 E-Tron, is just how natural feeling and sharp and progressive and nicely weighted this steering is. It's a pleasant car to drive. So there we have it, guys. That was my full review of the brand new Audi Q6 E-Tron Quattro. And overall, though there are a few things here and there I don't like, and I think it can become very expensive once you start optioning it, I think it is a great addition to the electric lineup at Audi, and one of the best driving electric SUVs or electric cars I've driven recently. So if you can get a good deal on one of these, and you don't need a space as its bigger brother, the Q8 E-Tron, and you don't care too much about, the quality, the perceived luxuriness of the interior not being at that level, I think it looks better, I think it drives better than that car, and it's also gonna get better efficiency and more range. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.